Alright, the first thing we want to know as we get ready to go fly is we want to kind of have an idea of what the instruments do for us. This is a simulator, and we're going to fly it here in a few minutes, and then we're going to go out and fly the airplane so you can compare the airplane to a simulator. But right now, let's go through all the gauges that we have and what all these dials do for us. This is the airspeed indicator, and as I said, it measures your speed in the air. It's color-coded, and those color-coded tell us about the limitations, which we don't need to discuss now, but they help us fly the airplane. This is called an attitude indicator. And the attitude indicator is what pilots use to fly when they're in the weather and they can't see the ground. Notice it's blue, matching the sky, and brown, matching the ground. So, and then it'll turn, and you'll see how that works later on when we get airborne in the simulator. This is the altimeter. It measures your altitude above sea level. Right now we're about 864 or 5 feet there. And that's the field elevation here in Lancaster, Ohio. But it'll tell us as we go up and down. This is an electric gauge. It's an emergency backup to this, but it also helps us fine-tune the airplane and get some real skills. So we take away the skids and the slips. And that's what this ball does for us. We try to keep it centered as we go through. This is the heading indicator, and it tells us what magnetic direction we're flying. In the air, this and this should read the same. This is just a regular old magnetic compass. This is a gyro. This is our vertical speed indicator, and it measures whether we're going up or down, and it tells us how fast. This would be 500 feet per minute. This would be 1,000 feet per minute going up. And this would be like 1,500, 1,000, and 500 feet going down. Now, an airplane obviously has an engine, so you got to be able to monitor the engine. That's what these gauges are doing down here. These are the fuel gauges, the exhaust gas temperature, which your car normally doesn't have, and it doesn't have a fuel flow indicator either, but this helps us set the power. Over here we have temperature and manifold pressure, and here's a vacuum. The reason we have vacuum is there's a pump in there that runs air, and these two gauges here are run by air. This is the RPM gauge that works the same as your mom or dad's car. Over here are navigational devices. This is called a CDI, or a course displacement indicator, and it tells you whether you're left or right of course, whether you're up or down. We use that to navigate again in the weather. This is an ADF, which is going away very quickly in the United States. Some countries still have it, but it helps you navigate to a point. Here's what the world is going to. This is GPS, just like you have the GPS in your car to find the address. In here you can find an address to an airplane or an airport, and you can just dial it in right here. And that's our airport right here. This is for the ADF. This radio controls this. This radio controls that. Over here is DME, and that stands for Distant Measuring Equipment, and tells you how far away you are from a certain point. Again, it's another radio. So we really have 4 radios in here. This one, this one, this one, and then we have the microphone where we talk to the outside world. Then there's one last thing to show you, and that's the, we'll call it, for lack of a better word, we'll call it the business end of the airplane. And that's down here in the bottom. And it's probably going to be hard to see for you because it's a little dark. But basically, we start the engine, we turn on the battery, we turn on the fuel, we turn on the lights. These are all lights here. This is how we turn on all the radios with this one switch here. If we had gear, this would be how we raise the wheels or lower the wheels. This is trim, which we'll talk about in flight, but it helps us fly the airplane hands off. This is the throttle, just like the accelerator in your car. This controls the prop, which we don't have a control pitch prop right now, but we can set the computer up to do that. And this turns the gas on and off to the airplane. And with that, I think we're ready to go flying. You ready to go?
Let's go fly.
All right.